I recently received a question from a mom who is pregnant with her rainbow baby, and this is the term used for a pregnancy that occurs after a mom has lost a baby through miscarriage or stillbirth. So she is pregnant with that rainbow baby, and she's excited, but she also said that she is terrified that it will happen again. And she said it's really hard to feel excited about this pregnancy without feeling guilty. And she wanted to know if there's anything that she could do to prevent, a repeat miscarriage. So one of the first things I want to talk about is the emotions around this. It's really common for women to feel like being happy about the rainbow baby means that they are in some way abandoning their, angel baby. And the only way to honor the memory of the baby that they lost is to stay in that space of grief. I don't think that that's helpful. I think that allowing yourself to be happy and joyful about this rainbow baby, that those feelings can absolutely live in harmony with a remembrance of the baby that you lost. You can miss that baby and remember them and remember that they were part of your life and still are, in a spiritual sense, while still being overjoyed about the new baby. So I really encourage you to let go of that guilt and to give yourself permission to be excited and happy. And something that you'll hopefully find encouraging is that statistics have shown that just about 2% of women will have a repeat miscarriage. Most go on to have a perfectly healthy pregnancy after miscarriage. So really, hold that within you. Know that the chance of having a repeat miscarriage is incredibly rare. If you had a stillbirth, while you have a slightly higher chance of having another stillbirth than, a woman that's pregnant for the first time, the chance of a stillbirth happening again is still very, very rare. So please know that the chances are super duper low. Okay, so what can you do to prevent it? So in the case of most miscarriages and stillbirths, a lot of times they don't know why it happened. A lot of the times they suspect it was some kind of genetic anomaly, that the baby just wasn't healthy. But I'm gonna get my list. There are some things that you can potentially do. The first one, which I think is most important, is finding a care provider that you really, really trust. Because if you trust them and you know that they know everything there is to know about the circumstances surrounding your miscarriage or your stillbirth, and knowing that they're like on top of it and they're keeping you and your baby safe and healthy, will really help to minimize your stress, knowing that you are doing absolutely everything you can by finding that super skilled care provider, that they are keeping you healthy. As long as you're following their recommendations, you're on it, and you just feel held and safe. So really taking the time to find a great care provider that makes you feel amazing and safe. Okay, next thing, staying on top of your folic acid. It's recommended that you get about 400 milligrams of folic acid daily. So most prenatal vitamins will have that. So making sure you take that every single day. Emotional support, really making sure that you're held emotionally. And if you're still holding a lot of grief and trauma from the miscarriage or stillbirth, finding a therapist, a counselor that specializes in pregnancy loss can be really helpful. They can help you navigate those emotions and heal as much as possible. Okay, so the norms: eating healthy, getting regular exercise, drinking lots of water, going to your prenatal appointments, doing what you need to do during any pregnancy. That's really important. Environmental factors, so limiting exposure to toxins, solvents, mercury, paint thinners, just being cognizant about, the air that you're breathing in. Putting air purifiers in your room can be helpful. Managing chronic conditions. So, if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, other ailments, making sure that you're staying on top of whatever recommendations your care provider has made for that, stay on top of medications, sleeping on your side, sleeping on your back, especially when you're more pregnant and the pressure of baby can be more intense when you're laying on your back. That can limit the flow of blood and oxygen to the baby. So sleeping on your side can totally take care of that. If you're afraid that you're going to roll on your back without knowing at some point in the night, get a pregnancy pillow that you can, or just wedge a pillow behind your back. And so even if you do kind of roll over, you're still wedged so that the flow of blood and oxygen will continue. Aspirin, some people believe that taking a baby aspirin every day can help prevent pregnancy loss for women that have high inflammation. I definitely would not start just taking a baby aspirin just because. I would ask your care provider about that and ask them if they think that that would be helpful for you. And they might say no. Progesterone, in some cases, progesterone has been found to help prevent miscarriage in women who experience bleeding in the first trimester. Again, something to ask your care provider about. Those are the main ones. There's all sorts of research being done about different medications, different practices that can be done to help prevent a repeat, or not just a repeat miscarriage or stillbirth, but any miscarriages or stillbirths. But your care provider is going to be the best source of information for that and for different treatments that will be specifically beneficial for your unique needs. But I can almost guarantee that the main thing your care provider is going to recommend is stress reduction, eating healthy, drinking lots of water, getting some exercise, taking that prenatal vitamin, and again, just like keep going back to remembering that being excited about this pregnancy does not in any way dishonor the memory of the baby that you lost. Even if you find yourself at the end of the day and you realize, oh my God, for the first time in like a year, I didn't think about my pregnancy loss. That is a good sign. That does not mean that you are forgetting that baby or that you're abandoning them, because I really believe, and again, this is getting into kind of spirituality, but I really believe that angel baby will always be in your heart, regardless of how much you think of them or not. They'll always be in your heart. And if you find it really hard to let go of that trauma, of that grief, and I do understand that. I'm sure a piece of that will always be there. You'll always be sad that that happened. And that's so understandable. Of course you will. But something that can help you honor that life and to move forward with celebrating the new one that's coming into your world, will be to honor the baby that you lost in some way. Maybe you have a memorial service, maybe you write them some letters, maybe you simply burn a candle, anything at all that you feel is allowing you to honor that life. You can just talk to them and let them know what's going on. Maybe their little spirit is there. So anything that you need to do to allow you to move forward with this new pregnancy with joy and at least some peace, because you deserve it. You do not deserve to feel guilty or to be stuck in grief for the rest of your life. I know this is such a tricky topic and every woman processes it differently. So if you had a different experience with it, if you have a suggestion that I did not include, please let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear about your experience with miscarriage, with stillbirth, and having that rainbow baby.